island of Hispaniola lies where the Atlantic meets the warm waters of the Caribbean. Shared by both Haiti and Dominican Republic, the island nation is the second largest Caribbean economy. It was among the first sites colonized by European explorers looking for the New World. The island continues its ties to the foreign visitors as the largest Caribbean tourist destination. My name is Vikalavi. My love of cigars had led me across oceans in search of expertly grown tobacco leaves, the most talented rollers, the most complex aromas. In short, the perfect cigar. I had toured the famed Cuban factories and was hungry for more. Connoisseurs spoke of the Dominican high level of skill and quality. Was the best cigar sitting under my nose in a shop perfectly legal and available? I traveled to the island nation of Dominican Republic in hope of finding my answers and putting the quest for a perfect cigar to rest. Explorer Christopher Columbus is generally credited with the introduction of tobacco to Europe. Two of Columbus's crewmen during his famed 1492 voyage are said to have encountered tobacco for the first time on the island of Hispaniola, when natives first presented them dry leaves with a peculiar fragrance. Their names were Rodriguez de Jerez and Luis de Torres, and I shall forever credit them for bringing home one of the best souvenirs in history. The practice of smoking primitive cigars spread quickly through Europe, mostly through the efforts of one French ambassador, Jean Nicot. Today he is remembered as the man who gave the tobacco plant its Latin name, Nicotiana tobacco. It wasn't long before colonists began cultivating tobacco as a commercial crop. Farms began popping up as early as 1531, and soon the practice was extended to Cuba in 1580. Though Cuba may be synonymous with cigars, it was Dominican Republic who first commercially exploited tobacco for nearly 50 years, thereby earning the title Cigar Country. One of the Dominicans' most famous brand is La Flor Dominicana. I felt there was no better place to start and headed to the farm. Would the process of tobacco growth and selection differ from other countries? I met Luis, who is the foreman of this 200-acre farm, and asked about the process of soil preparation.
Bueno, de inmediato se le da mantenimiento a lo que es el terreno con los equipos hidráulicos y se surquean, se hace una preparación para que así tenga un buen drenaje y de inmediato se comienza en su tiempo adecuado a lo que es la siembra.
The process of germination starts in greenhouses to give the plant a good chance of survival. The farm is so large that workers have to germinate the seeds the old-fashioned way too.
Se comienza lo que es sentido de comenzar los canteros, desinfectar los canteros, luego de desinfectar los canteros entonces se riegan las semillas, diferentes variedades de semillas y entonces ahí se le da su tiempo de crecimiento a la semilla y luego entonces se lleva al campo a lo que es la siembra normal.
There must be some secret in growing the world's best cigars. Luis mentioned an unusual ingredient to the process. I never expected bat droppings to be essential to any luxury product, but I won't argue with the results.
Eso es un abono especial que usa el empresario para darle más fortaleza a lo que es la plantación. Eso le llama mucielaguina.
The young tobacco plants are moved to the field in October, while harvest starts in December and continues until March as different leaves are picked at different times.
Eso dura alrededor de sus 40-45 días para comenzar ya a darle mantenimiento de lo que es la limpieza en la finca y entonces de ahí por lo menos en 10 días más se comienza la escogida normal. Se va cogiendo en diferentes clases que le decimos. Primero se limpia, luego se coge lo que le llamamos el centro fino seco, luego se coge el centro fino ligero, eso es cuando es para tripa, luego se coge el centro gordo y luego después se coge el corona, que es la parte de arriba.
The size of these plants varied widely.
La planta normal, cuando llegan entre los 14, que los pilotos cubanos, entre 14 y 16 hojas viene siendo alrededor de 1,5 metros en la altura de la planta y pueden llegar casi a 2 metros, dependiendo de su desarrollo.
Some of the leaves are covered from the sun in order to stunt their growth and keep them soft, for the purpose of using them for wrappers.
Aquí se cosecha capa. La mata nunca da todo para capa, sino eso tiene su parte específica para capa.
I asked Luis what happens to the leaves once they've been harvested.
Cuando el tabaco se cosecha, bueno, pues entonces se le da un seguimiento, se llevan a la casa de curaciones, luego se le da un tiempo determinado y luego va a lo que se llama la preindustria para entonces seguirle dando otro proceso, que es el proceso de fermentación.
While the growing and cultivation techniques did not widely vary from the Cuban farmers, the philosophy and pride had distinct differences. I kept hearing the term pure cigar and was immediately intrigued. Could a pure cigar be a perfect cigar? What is a pure cigar and why is it sought after? I had come to Dominican Republic to continue my search for the perfect cigar.
Cuando se habla de puro es porque lo hacen solamente de un solo tipo de tabaco cosechado, que no se le lleva tabaco exportado o importado como decimos. Esa es la única diferencia que existe.
I toured the farms of La Flor Dominicana in hopes to better understand the techniques that create some of the most widely revered cigars in the world. Curing is done on the farm. The leaves need to be hung about 7 weeks in the curing barns to cure the leaves. Some even use more modern techniques like climate control facilities.
Eso solamente se usa para capa, para mantenerle a las capas lo que es la calidad y en el tiempo requerido de lo que lo necesitan. Puede durar alrededor de 40 a 45 días.
Once the tobacco is cured, it's moved to the factory to ferment, which could take up to 2 years.
Lleva otro proceso, que es el proceso de curación definitivo, que coge el requerimiento, o sea, darle el tiempo requerido que necesita el tabaco para entonces ser fumado.
Like a fine wine, can tobacco have a good year and a bad year?
Con respecto a la cosecha, sí, porque eso es algo normal, eso es algo natural. Eso depende todo de lo que se llama el clima o el ambiente para la cosecha del tabaco. O sea, eso viene siendo igualito que vino. Puede llegar una temporada que le afecte al tabaco y no le permita aún aplicándole los mecanismos o los fertilizantes y tenga problemas la cosecha.
It was easy to see the pride of the foreman. The soil may be barren now, but soon it would be seeded and the famous leaves would grow. It's a beautiful thought that a product of luxury can have such a humble and traditional beginnings. While my trip to the farm certainly illuminated a piece of the process, I needed to see the next stage of creation. I traveled to the boutique factory headed by a well-known blender and a recipient of one of 9 Hall of Fame awards from cigar aficionados, and a creator of many popular cigars, Jose Ciejas. Jose retired as the vice president of the largest cigar factory in the world. His passion for cigars enticed him out of retirement to establish a new brand of perfect cigars that should worry his competitors. I asked to see how his son Ricardo is managing the process of cigar manufacturing. Ricardo started by explaining different leaves on the same plant.
What you see here, you see that there's the seco, the viso, ligero, and the flower at the top. Well, in terms of manufacturing and blending, this is extremely important. Usually, the leaves at the bottom of the plant tend to be less strong in taste, aroma, but they burn a lot more, okay? And as you move higher up in the plant, you start getting more strength in the same tobacco. So from this one plant, I could make a blend.
While still on the farm, the leaves are covered.
The reason they shade it is because, well, usually the tobacco that is shaded is wrapper.
I see.
Wrappers, okay? And the reason for this is that the more sun, the more nutrients that the plant gets, the thicker the leaves tends to get, okay? And the more, less manageable for a wrapper. You want wrappers to be very thin and to have as little vein as possible, okay? Because they make the handling for the roller a lot easier.
The tobacco that was in the warehouse was already fermented. I asked Ricardo about the process.
This, it still has its principal vein inside.
Yes.
Yeah, you can smell this. This actually smells very good.
Oh, that smells
Yeah.
beautiful. That actually is the smell of the cigar that I like.
Correct. It's a very good.
This actually is what cigar is made of.
Yeah.
And-
This is the inside part of the cigar.
And the uniformity of this is not important.
It's not that important. No.
Okay.
What you want here is consistency in taste, strength, aromas, and everything. This goes through a curing process also, but not as delicate as
the wrapper.
As the wrapper.
The first stage in making the tobacco workable was to remoisturize it by soaking its central vein in water.
Here, what we do is that we dip the butt into it, which is the principal vein. We dip into it and we let it sit for a day.
Okay, so this will like
reabsorb
I see.
water through the principal vein and into the small branches, the small veins inside the tobacco leaf. Okay. This is the same plant. Okay, the same.
This is
thing.
after a day of
Exactly.
basically sucking the water into the veins.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And you see, try to open one of these.
Not
Not
possible.
Try doing
It'll
it?
crumble.
Yeah.
It'll tear.
It'll tear.
I wouldn't want to
There
tear
you
it.
go.
But that one is
Try opening one of these.
so it's easier. Oh, that's easy to
See
work
that?
with. It's like a paper.
Yeah.
It's like a very soft
Look at
paper.
this.
But it's more elastic than a paper. Keeping a high level of moisture is essential to the process. The next step was to hang the leaves in a very humid room.
And what they do here is that it's the second stage of moisturization of the tobacco plant to be able to prepare it for deveining. If out of the conditioning room it's not flexible enough, it's not moisturized enough to be able to handle, we hang them in here. This room basically has to be very humid. We try to keep the extreme humidity between 96 and 100% if we can reach.
Once the leaves have the right elasticity, they are taken to the deveining section.
This is where they devein and select the wrappers and binders.
So here is you get the wrappers, you're in the right elasticity, let's say,
Correct.
and they're moisturized. And this gentleman, this lady here, take the central vein out. Now this leaf becomes one wrapper or two wrappers?
They become two wrappers.
So every leaf is two wrappers.
Yeah,
basically.
it'll give you a right wrapper and a left wrapper.
After the break, I try my hand at creating two wrappers from one of these leaves. I'm probably
it a
going to
try.
mess this up totally.
Maybe, maybe not.
You never know.
If not, there's always a place for you here.
I had come to Dominican Republic to see if the island nation was truly worthy of the title cigar country. The pride of the people has been apparent in every part of the process, and I was right in the heart of it, at La Flor Dominicana. I'm a firm believer in hands-on learning, and I was about to be put to the test to see if I could devein a tobacco leaf. I'm probably
Give it a
going to
try.
mess this up totally.
Maybe, maybe not.
You never know.
If not, there's always a place for you here. There you go. No, that's right. Then you wrap. Actually, that wasn't that bad. Let's see it out. Let's check it out. See?
Well,
And you got two halves, man. Not that much.
should I give up my daytime job or not?
Oh, you can come here anytime, wasn't it? It's not bad, really.
Ricardo told me about a traditional chewing tobacco made out of leaves, stem, and herbs called andullo.
They grab the whole tobacco, though. You know, they include the vein in it.
Ah, I
Okay?
see, okay.
And they wrap it, and they make a big lump, a long lump out of it. They wrap it very, 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 very tight, and that can take a year, 2 years, 3 years like this, fermenting and getting it. And when you come to it, you have a tall andullo, we call it, okay?
Andullo.
And it's like this tall. This is how it looks like. You put it on a rack like here, and they cut,
Just slice it off.
and they slice off.
And they chew that.
And they can chew that. And let me show
Solid.
you,
Oh my God, look at the size of this.
this is an andullo.
Wow.
And they put, mix it with a little bit of honey or some herbs, or something, give it a different blend to it.
I didn't get a chance to taste that, but I'm sure it's quite memorable.
After the wrapper and binder are deveined, we pass it on to Jacqueline here. And what Jacqueline does is she puts them all here and she selects it by color and size.
The wrappers are sorted by their size and color to give uniformity to a box of cigars. Once the wrappers were graded, we proceeded to the filler assortment and selection station.
After we have smokes and we decide, we like this tobacco with this amount and this tobacco with that amount, and we decide what blend we want, we come over here and we tell the chief of the department what we're doing is a 50-50.
A 50-50.
50% this, 50% the other one. It doesn't matter, it depends, or it could be a third or a 10% here, 10 of 20 of that, and whatever. We weigh half a pound of one, half a pound of the other for the
So
cigar.
this is where actually the blending happens.
Correct. Okay, and we take it to the drying room.
The halls of La Flor Dominicana filled with swirling blend of different aromas. Each smell is distinct and rich. The experience is true of any cigar factory, but that's what makes the blending process so special. Once the blend has been decided by the master blender, the selection is moved by weight to the drying room.
We need to make sure that the humidity for the filler is correct, okay? Right now, because of the natural humidity of the environment, we tend to just keep it in here. We separate them between ligeros, we put it at the top, the seco at the bottom, okay? This is usually because ligeros need a little bit more drying. They tend to have a little bit more oil, and higher up it usually dries a little bit easier.
The skill of hand rollers in blending different leaves is of utmost importance. This is where the blend becomes a reality. At the moment, he's taking one leaf from each bunch.
Yeah, one leaf from each.
Okay.
And it's all a touch. It's a feel-based profession in this case, because he has to feel how much is necessary. If the load is good enough, if it's well distributed, he knows just by touch, and he knows this. And then he rolls it up, and he has a binder. If you want, you can smoke this already, as it is.
Without an actual...
Without a wrapper, it's not an issue.
Okay.
Then he puts it in these molds, okay? And these molds, what they do is they finish to give the shape, the adequate shape of the cigar.
Once the cigars are rolled, they are pressed to have the right shape for the wrappers to go on. Ricardo demonstrated why a blend of fast-burning leaf and a slow-burning ligero leaf is important.
See, get the weight of this,
Okay.
and look and touch it. See how oily it feels?
Yes, it feels moist.
And this one's a
It's
lot
very
lighter
rough, yeah.
and less oily, okay?
Yes.
So if I apply fire to them, look how it runs, okay?
It actually burns on itself.
And if I grab a ligero, it stops.
The blend is important, but the quality of a well-constructed cigar can be judged by touch.
If the load distribution is incorrect, I'll be able to press here and it's just completely going to sink too much. And in the finished product, what you have is soft spots in the cigar.
And then you can feel that actually by just feeling the cigar. We proceeded to the final part of the cigar construction. This is where the cigars are made to look good and uniform.
She's just finishing one up. Chaveta.
That's a perfect cigar. You don't see any veins on the outside.
You don't
and
see anything.
It has a shine to it.
It has a
Is
shine
that
to
because
it.
of the wrapper?
All tobacco has a natural shine to it,
Okay.
but you have to stretch it enough to be able to get it out.
That's what she does. She stretches
That's
the
what-
wrapper
yes.
and she rolls, and that's where the shine comes from.
Correct.
I shall get a chance to embarrass myself and try to put the wrapper on when we come back.
Already you see it broke over here?
Yes, it
That's-
did. Don't laugh. And I'll sit down for a final conversation with Jose Siejas to get a master's opinion on cigar pairings. This kind of cigar, something like Monte Cristo, will go with rum.
I think so, yes, definitely.
But I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, all right, wonderful.
My search for the best cigars had led me to Dominican Republic, and now I find myself touring the floors of a famous cigar factory. I have seen experts roll cigars, and I'm sure it's more skillful than it looks, but I get a chance to put that theory to the test.
Corta bien. You cut well. And then right above the, there you go, and might be a little bit too thin, but you can work with that.
Okay.
Okay? Already you see it broke over here?
Yes, it did. Don't laugh. Okay. This is a terrible wrapping job I'm doing. And you were right, it's not as easy as it looks.
It's not that easy. It's not that bad, actually.
No?
No. That's my number one priority is always quality.
Oh.
Always quality.
This is
of the shit.
definitely not getting sold.
If I was a mean boss, I'd make you smoke it.
This is brilliant. Even if I
It's
say so myself. Perfect cigar
for a
the
first try. I'm being horrible. For a first try, it's actually okay.
Oh, thank you very
For a
much.
first
Thank
try,
you
it's
very
good.
much.
Thank
Very
you.
kind. I may not be able to roll a perfect cigar, but I can certainly enjoy smoking one. I joined Jose in a restaurant with the most inspiring tropical view that I have ever seen to find the best pairing for your cigar of choice. We tried one of Jose's signature creations that contain tobaccos from 4 different countries. This is very nice.
Yep,
It's still smooth.
very smooth, yes.
Still has a very smooth feel to it.
And some sweetness to it.
Yes, I was going to say it's got a flowery smell and
Right.
sweet taste to it. What drink or liquor would go with
I
this?
think
one?
I'll go for rum as
For
well.
rum?
Yes.
Next, we tried the Monte Cristo, which is probably the most popular cigar available. Oh, this is nice too. This is slightly more powerful than the last
More
one.
powerful and more flavorful.
More flavorful. Now, after drinking this, I can still taste the cigar.
Yes.
Where
Yes,
does
you
the
can.
name Monte Cristo come from?
It's there are 2 versions. One they said that it's from the Monte Cristo province. Another theory talks about the Monte Cristo Mundo, the Count of Monte Cristo. But it used to be read to the workers in the.
Oh, I see. The
in
reader
the
would read the book,
Yeah,
and that's why they called it.
that's the one version. Yes.
So this kind of cigar, something like Monte Cristo, will go with rum.
I think so. Yes, definitely.
But I tend to agree with you.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful.
Working on that theory of Monte Cristo, the reader's reading, the name Romeo and Juliet has the same story attached to it.
I don't know about Romeo and Julieta. Well, it's Shakespeare. But I'm not too sure they read Shakespeare.
We smoked a special reserve from La Flor Dominicana.
Nicely constructed, burning properly. Any person, average smoker can deal with this without problems.
Yeah, it's not too strong.
Not too strong. It's fine. Yeah, it goes well, eh?
I like the liquor and I like the combination.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
It's
this
great.
is nice.
Very nice.
The effect of all these pairings and aromas made it harder and harder for me to make up my mind. I decided it was best to ask the expert his opinion.
Probably this one.
I think
Yeah.
me and you are on the same page.
Yeah, I think so. It's extremely powerful in a sense,
Yes,
Not
it's
because
got-
it's powerful, it's a very good match.
It's an extremely good match. I actually like the liquor and I like the cigar. And if you let me, I'll be here forever.
There you go. You can stay here if you wish.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud. Back at the factory, I asked Jose how does he inspire such passion in his workforce.
That passion is coming from a change in the vision. You are not making a bunch. You are making the best cigar ever made.
The Cuban cigar is undeniably the most notorious and well-known in the world. Lifting the embargo must worry competitors.
I guess when the Cuban market opens to North America, it might affect the rest of the manufacturers in the world because it's something that people are looking for. But I don't think it's going to affect for that long. Basically, it's something that you haven't been able to have and everybody wants to try it. Once they try it, they'll find out it's about the same as any other cigar, any other tobacco in every country. Some people will love that taste profile, and other people will like other taste profiles.
The market does find a way to stabilize itself. There will be a big push. That's inevitable. That's inevitable. And we'll have to include Cuba into the piece of the pie for the United States market.
How did the Cuban Revolution affect the cigar industry in Dominican Republic?
When the Cuban Revolution happened and all these people with all the experience and know-how migrated to the Dominican Republic, they brought their industry with them. And it did build us up in the industry, it definitely. And a lot of the seeds we have in the Dominican Republic are Cuban seeds. And so did it impact us? Tremendously. Does the Dominican industry exist as big as it is because of the Cuban Revolution? I dare say yes.
I was dying to understand the comparison between a Cuban and a Dominican cigar. Is one truly better than the other?
Some of them are better, some of them are worse. Most of them are badly constructed and are forgiven because of the fame. But honestly speaking, Cuban cigars and Dominican cigars, Dominicans are better made. They are more consistent. They are aged properly more, and almost, saying without a minimum of a doubt, on the average, we are making much better cigars than any Cuba can make.
Meeting the Ciejas family and visiting La Flor Dominicana farm made me believe that cigar country is bigger than just a name. It's the people that grow the tobacco, the workers that roll the cigars, and it's the passion of a family that brings it all together. It was time for me to leave the tropical paradise. And reflecting on my visit in the cigar country, I came to the conclusion that I have smoked many cigars from different parts of the world. And honestly, the best cigar could be from anywhere, given that it's been constructed and blended well from excellent tobacco. The only other criteria is whether you enjoy that smoke or not. And if you do, that is the best cigar for you.